NodeManager. Now let's have a look on the NodeManager. As we know that the job is submitted to the NodeManager with a memory. How to compute this memory? So when we submit to the NodeManager about a job of 2 MB, like this is my NodeManager and 2 MB job is submitted to the NodeManager. We expect JVM to allocate this much of memory plus something for running the job successfully. So in order to do that, every job is executed in something called a container in Yarn especially. So container is one that will serve as something like a bucket that will run this job. Now if you are a programmer and then you said 2 MB and the NodeManager allocated the job to its cluster, but you are not taking 2 MB. You are taking more than 2 MB. How do we know that a process, if it says it needs 2 MB, is going to take 2 MB only or not? How do we find out it? If somebody comes and tells you that, oh no, my program is just going to take 2 MB, will you trust them and allocate the cluster for them? Or will you do some checks that they are taking only 2 MB? Will you trust blindly that somebody says 2 MB? What sort of checks we will do? If we say we will be doing some sort of checking that they are taking only 2 MB or not exceeding, what sort of checking we will do? Very simple. When the program runs in the container, it's going to take some memory or not. So we need to have a monitoring on how much memory it is using at runtime. Correct? We will need to monitor, and that monitoring is called App Master. So App Master also created for the job. And App Master monitors that container periodically and updates statics to the resource manager of the memory being used by the container. That is how resource manager will come to know at runtime which machines to negotiate, which machines are capable of executing a job that's being scheduled from the clients. Or in NodeManager, we have an App Master or container. What does the container do? Container runs the job. What does the App Master do? App Master monitors job. This is how every job will be executed in the Yarn. Here are some steps that will be followed during the execution of the job in the Yarn. First, client submit job to the resource manager. Second thing, resource manager makes a single container request on behalf of application to NodeManager. NodeManager launches the container. The application master, app master starts running to monitor container. App master updates to the resource manager also. Now, I have a question. Why do we need to create something called container? Because in Hadoop 1.x, everything was MapReduce job. There is nothing other than MapReduce job. But whereas 2.x supports ETL, mainframe, SQL jobs, graphs and other kind of jobs. Now in order to execute all the other kind of jobs, 2.x allows us by creating a container for them to execute that specific job. That's why 2.x is much more versatile in supporting a vast requirements of analytics than 1.x. Where in 1.x everything needs to be run as MapReduce job. Here in Yarn also everything runs as MapReduce, but MapReduce is yet another layer built on top of Yarn, equivalent to Yarn. That's it. Okay, thank you very much.